This episode of the podcast is sponsored by Jed's Barbershop. With 3 locations now, you have no reason to not always look your best. Go get a haircut, a beard trim, or even a straight razor shave. Jed's Barbershop is open 7 days a week, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., Saturday 9 to 7, and Sunday 12 to 5. They have a location downtown at 212 South, 700 East, and in Sugar House at 2153 East, 2100 South. They just opened up a 3rd location at 167 East, 900 South, right next to Randy's Records. No appointment is necessary. Head on over to jedsbarbershop.com for more information.
Showcasing local talent, professionals, and everyday people, making Salt Lake City what it is today. It's time for another episode of the I Am Salt Lake podcast.
Welcome to episode 283 of I Am Salt Lake podcast. My name's Chris Hollifield.
And I'm Chrissy Shelley.
Today on the podcast, we sit down with medieval armored combat competitor Hannah Hudson. We get a chance to find out what got her interested in the sport, all about the equipment she has to wear, her travels out of the country for international battles that she's taken part in, as well as being a librarian by day at the Murray Library.
In my head, I totally see her as a fictional character who works at the library and then at night picks up a really cool book and jumps into it and does all these badass things and then gets back out.
I'll tell you what, you bonded with her, Chrissy, unlike any other conversation that we've had here on the podcast, or at least that you've been part of.
Oh, my goodness. I think I may have started crying at one point. I was so excited.
I think you did. We're going to play that entire conversation here in just a minute, so you're going to want to stay tuned for that.
As always, if this is your first time listening to the podcast, head on over to the website at iamsaltlake.com.
This is where you can find an entire back episodes of the podcast right there on the website where you can listen to them. There's links to the podcast outlets where you can subscribe. There's iTunes, Stitcher Radio, really any of your favorite podcast players.
We've been chatting with some really amazing people in Salt Lake, and we'd just love to share them with you.
You know, it's hard to believe July 4th is right around the corner. And I'm going to be emceeing the festival stage again this year at the Sugar House 4th of July Arts Festival. I'll be emceeing between bands all day. I believe it's happening between 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. As of this recording right now, I don't have the lineup of bands yet, but as soon as I do, I'll be announcing it on our social media outlets. The Sugar House 4th of July Arts Festival is happening, of course, in Sugar House, right up there on Wilmington Avenue by Barnes & Noble's, Whole Foods. So plan on coming out. It'd be great to meet some listeners of the show. It's great to meet those of you that came out last year. And maybe I'll have some stickers and pins or something to give away.
Little surprises, also high fives and free hugs.
Yeah, so just come up and say, hey, I listened to I Am Salt Lake podcast. It'd be great to meet you guys. But listen up, we got our wedding photos back this week from Amanda DeWolf. And I know I couldn't be seriously any more happy with them. I love them.
Oh, I love it because I feel like we get to experience the day again. Like, she took so many pictures where I was getting ready. I didn't get to be down with people. I got to see things that I didn't get to see. It's really exciting. I can't wait to share them with everybody.
If you're in the market for a wedding photographer, if you need to get headshots done, or if you have an event going on this summer that you need some photography done at, go check out our website, amandakmemories.com. and get in touch with her. Again, the website is Amanda K Memories. That's Amanda, KAYmemories.com. We also put a banner up on our website where you can click there as well.
This week, we've been doing some Facebook Live videos. We went to the Utah Arts Festival and the Downtown Farmers Market, and we got to share those experiences live through our Facebook page.
So you're going to want to head over to our Facebook page, check them out, comment on them, share them. You know, this was kind of a big step for the podcast. I know we're not the best with video.
We're camera shy.
And all of that. And, well, you know, I've always been kind of a podcast guy where I felt like it needed to be audio.
Uh-huh.
But you've been pushing for video.
I'm kind of a video person, you know?
So hopefully we'll be doing a lot more of those. So make sure to stay connected with us on Facebook. Hey, this episode is also sponsored by Oleo Skin and Beard. If you're like us, your skin is dry. If you're like me, your beard is dry. You need to moisturize. Oleo Skin and Beard carries an amazing line of skin oils, beard butters for moisturizing and shaping the beard, and even some great facial cleansers.
Every morning, I wake myself up using their activated charcoal face soap, and it is the best feeling in the world.
head on over to their website, oleoskin.com. We set up a promo code for listeners of the podcast where you'll enter in I am Salt Lake at checkout. It's all one word, I am Salt Lake. This is going to give you 25% off of your entire purchase. Again, the website is oleoskin.com. All right, let's jump into that conversation with medieval combat armored competitor Hannah Hudson as she came over to our office to share her story. Thank you so much for listening. Enjoy. If you and I were to meet on the streets and I was to say, what are you all about? How would you answer that?
My first answer would be I'm a member of the USA Women's Armored Combat Team. That's kind of the love of my life right now, and that's what it's all about. But I'm also an assistant librarian at Murray Library. So basically my life boils down to books and weapons, and it's pretty much fantastic.
It's kind of like I'm going to go with every girl because I think there are plenty of us girls who read fantasy books.
Right.
It's like every girl's dream.
Yeah.
You're living every nerd girl's dream.
Right. I grew up reading all of these stories about knights, and especially like Tamara Pierce's Alana and like Éowyn. And I always wanted to be a knight because I was a big nerd and I thought that would be fantastic. And now I am. So I did.
No, and I love it. And that's what I mean. I love how you just laid it out there, right out there. And that's what I was hoping you'd get into, right? Like
Yes.
It's especially, I've never had a medieval warrior, I guess.
I think those are pretty, they're kind of hard to find nowadays.
We're kind of like the unicorns. We're few and far between.
Yeah,
So,
and Margaret
definitely.
Schlachter from Dirt in Your Skirt podcast, many thanks to her for setting this interview up.
Yeah.
definitely. Thank you.
She's really cool herself. So, and I mean, when she reached out and she's like, hey, Hannah's a librarian by day and a medieval fighter warrior. You said it. I'm just like, what?
Yeah, that's kind of the reaction I get a lot is, wait, what do you do?
And at the time, you were over in what country were you in when she first introduced us?
I was over in Spain for the World Championships. I had made the USA Women's team. This was my first year on the USA Women's team. And every year, April, May-ish, they host a World Championship for the sport. And it's always over in Europe, and typically it's at a castle, but this year it was a bull ring in Barcelona. So I flew to Barcelona and had my first taste of international competition, which was insane. They're like, oh, so good.
Do the teams actually have sponsorships like other sports do? Do you have people who help pay for?
Yeah, like your armored helmet, right?
It's
like
gotta be
this
a very
helmet
expensive
is
sport.
I mean, it is an expensive sport. It's pretty expensive to purchase your kit, what we call our suit of armor kit.
Yeah.
And then the travel on top of that. And because the US is so spread out, usually once a month I'm somewhere else training in the US.
Wow.
So that's why I work as much as I can, because like I have to afford travel somehow. But some teams in Europe have like small sponsorships, but it's such a niche sport right now that no one really knows about it.
Yeah, I was going to say, we don't know about it. Like when I think of a sport, I think of like, basketball,
Exactly.
baseball.
Definitely didn't know it existed until I heard about you.
Yeah, but we are growing. I mean, it's been around for about 10 years. It started in Russia, I believe. And then kind of just traveled west. And now there are enough people and countries involved. There are tournaments everywhere, every month, almost every week, I feel like. And so it's growing, and the women's team in the U.S. is growing pretty rapidly. We started with Amy Graham. She also lives in Salt Lake. She was one of the first female athletes in the sport. And now we have over 12 women.
Here in Salt Lake?
Not in Salt Lake, in the U.S. So we're very spread out. But we're training more every week, it seems like. So hopefully we'll keep growing.
Where do you train at? I mean, if it's not all here in Salt Lake, you have to like every week fly somewhere different?
No, thank God. I wish, though. That'd be nice. So I just returned from Seattle. The top men's team, Iron Phoenix, trains out of Seattle, and our captain is also up there, and one of my other teammates, female teammates, is up there. So we call ourselves. Oh, sorry.
Oh, I was going to say, it's not something that you could just Skype with, right? Like you can just be like, okay, we're going to battle over Skype.
No,
You lose a couple of computers in the process.
Yeah, exactly. And it's hard to learn. I mean, because the women, there aren't a ton of us, and when we do practice with the guys, we become. I feel like we are tougher when we practice with the guys, but we also get knocked down in like 10 seconds because they're a lot bigger than us. So when we have a chance to train with the women, we jump on a plane and we take it, because that's when we're really learning the technique and really learning the skill. And the way that competition works, I'm on the melee team or the bow hurt team, and it's a 3v3. So 5 teammates total, but 3 are always on the field, and we rotate fighters out.
Oh, so it's not like one-on-one combat. It's kind of
we have that, but we also, I like doing the bow hurt. It's kind of like a bar brawl. I mean, we just literally put on suits of armor and beat the shit out of each other. Like, that is all we're doing.
How do you win? Like,
so last man standing. Do
you just let yourself fall down if you're just saying I'm done? I mean, is that?
I mean,
like
yeah,
a tap out
without murder.
Well, yeah, we don't encourage that, because if you're tapping out, you want to protect your teammates as much as possible. So you want to be able to take those hard hits. So if you're tapping out, you're probably not going to be taking the hardest hits, and that decreases your team's chance of winning. So, I mean, the goal is to stay up and do as much damage to the other teammates as possible in a short amount of time. So if I were to have 3 points of anything on the ground, so like my weapon, if I was leaning on my weapon and I had 2 feet on the ground, I'm out. So my 2 feet can only be the only things on the ground.
So it's like if you take a break or rest, you're gone.
You're done. Yeah. If you like stop at all, they'll just beat the shit out of you. So
jeez.
Let's back up. I mean, how did you even get introduced to all of this? I mean, I know we kind of started way ahead. We're going to go back a little bit. I mean, this is a podcast, obviously. I mean, we'll put pictures up on the website at iamsaltlake.com.
Awesome.
If that's okay with you.
Totally fine.
Put some of your pictures up there so people can go check this out. I mean, this blown away by this whole thing.
Yeah.
I want to know how this even started.
Well, for me, I was 3 years ago, I went to the CrossFit Games with some friends from Ute CrossFit, because that's where I was training at the time.
Here in Salt Lake, right?
Yeah. And we went to support one of our coaches who's competing. And in the little like CrossFit vendor village, they were doing a demonstration of armored combat. So it was just these guys in armor just laying into each other with different weapons. And I was standing there with my husband and my sister's boyfriend, and I remember just something in my gut just came alive. Like something was started to just open up. And I looked at my husband and I was like, I'm going to participate in this sport. And he goes, no, you're not. And I was like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And then my sister's boyfriend is like, bro, she's going to do it. You know that look. And so I had asked one of the fighters, he was like, kind of leading the demonstration and answering fan questions. And so I was like, do women participate in this? Mm-hmm. And he's like, yeah, a couple, not that many. It's kind of a rough sport. And he kind of just walked off. And I was like, well, that's not helpful at all. And we were standing there, and one of the fighters took off their helmet. And it was like one of those movie moments where she took off her helmet and she shook out her hair. And I was just like, oh my God.
I'm in love.
It was exactly that. And so Nathan, my sister's boyfriend, was like nudging me, and he's like, go talk to her. So I go over there, and I'm kind of being shy, and I was like, hey, so I'd like to get involved. And she's kind of, gives me that tough bitch once over. And she's like, well, can you take a hard hit? And I'm like, I have no fucking clue. Like,
let's try it out.
Did you fight in high school?
No, I was like the fat nerd in high school. I didn't do anything athletic. I never went outside. I didn't talk to people. I sat in my room and read books. That's all I did. Never, ever wanted to fight. I never played sports. So this was just a whole, I mean, it came out of left field. And so she was like, well, I don't know where you live, but I'm based out of Salt Lake, so if you ever want to come train, if you live close, look me up. And I was like, I live in Salt Lake. I live there. And she's like, okay, well, maybe we should exchange numbers because that's a little weird. And I was like,
she wants to double check your credentials.
I was like, I'm going to be your best friend and you're going to teach me everything you know.
Yeah.
And so it took me, I think, 3 months to work up the courage to email her and ask if we could get together and just talk about it, because I had been thinking about it for 3 months. I'd been looking into it, looking at pictures, and I'm like, I don't think I can do this sport. Like, everyone asks me, pretty much the first question is this LARP? Are you LARPing? And I'm like, fuck no. Like, we're taking steel weapons and just beating each other into the ground with everything we've got in 65 pounds of armor. Like, it's not LARPing. And so
it's awesome.
So you got the girl's number.
I got her number. We went to coffee and we talked for 4 hours. And I was like, okay, she's like, there's a demonstration at one of the Ren fairs. Show up. We'll put you in kit. And if you can take a hit without flinching too much, we'll talk more. And I was like, okay. It was pouring rain. I think it was like 40 degrees that day. And I stood around for like 4 or 5 hours before they were able to be in a place to put me in kit.
Wow.
I was wearing a kit that was way too big for me. And she's like, the first thing she did once I had my helmet on, she's like, okay, I'm going to take this sword and I'm going to hit you in the temple as hard as I can. And I was like, oh, good. I'm glad I'm doing this right now. And it rings, but it didn't hurt. So she's like, all right, let's see how you do. And I ended up going.
Were you prepping at all? Like having your husband hit you prior to this or
no, I just rocked up and was like, let's do this. Like, let's see.
So you
how
had
it goes.
no idea what to expect.
No idea.
It just hit me that you're like having your husband beat you, like, you know.
Yeah, like, just got it like
good old-fashioned domestic violence.
Well, yeah, like, I mean, especially someone who hasn't gotten hit a lot, you don't know what it's going to feel like. No, that's true.
You don't know what it's going to feel like.
You don't know what it's going to feel like. And then so you don't know, I mean, am I going to, black out?
It's true.
Here? Am I going to fall down? Am I going to cry?
Exactly. Those were all thoughts I had. I think I went to the bathroom like 20 times. I was so nervous.
Oh, man.
But
I'm still amazed though that you like, what was it though that attracted you to this though? That's what's like, there's a million things out there you could do, right? Tetherball, you could,
tetherball, racquetball, knitting.
There's all kinds of things, but medieval fighting, like
it's
what?
like you actually get to get into the stories that you've spent your whole life reading about.
I mean, I grew up feeling I didn't have a huge community. Being a nerd, sometimes you're kind of on the outskirts. I was homeschooled, so I spent a lot of time.
Wow, you were homeschooled too, so was I.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So sometimes
I understand, we get it,
exactly. Right? I just wanted to feel powerful, and I wanted to feel kind of in control of my own fate or destiny in a way, and you read about these stories and these fantasies of these knights who go out and accomplish these great deeds and who fight for those who can't fight for themselves. And that's what attracted me to it. Like, I wanted to be that person who stands in the face of, for lack of a better word, enemy, even though we all love each other and we're a big community. But I wanted to stand and face my own fears on the field and know that I could take it, know that I could persevere and push through. And for some reason, I think I knew automatically that was going to happen in order for me to do this sport. I would have to face my own fears pretty much daily. I had no idea how. That was just the beginning. Like, this whole journey has been like reinventing myself, basically.
And how long have you been doing it now? You might have said at the beginning.
3 years, but the last year was when I really started to take it seriously, and I started to compete, not just participate, not just show up, but actually take myself seriously as an athlete, and try for the team. So actually, right before I did the interview with Margaret, I was thinking of quitting the sport, because I felt like I wasn't improving very quickly, and I felt, only having one other person kind of to train with in Salt Lake makes it difficult to see a lot of progress when you're not in a big group.
Because you probably learn each other's style enough that how do you improve?
You can't, after a certain point. So I was just feeling really discouraged. I didn't have a ton of friends in the community, in the larger community. And so I did the interview with Margaret, and the whole time I was going, oh my gosh, I'm going to leave this sport in a month, and this interview is going to just not help her at all. But I told her in the interview I was going to go to one big event, which was the International Tournament of Chivalry. Sometimes the names are still a little weird, but it was the first big event I attended, and it was the first event where I knew I would have to make a good showing in order to be considered for the team. And I went dreading it, and it ended up changing the entire course of this sport for me. So it's definitely been a personal
experience, a travel, a journey.
Yeah, exactly.
What does your husband think? What does he think of all this?
He's really
Or is he doing it now with you?
No, he doesn't do it with me yet. We're trying to get him into kit, but he travels with me a little bit. Most of the time it's just me, but he's super supportive. He trains with me. Like, we'll go into the backyard with soft kit weapons and beat the shit out of each other. And
he seems to enjoy it.
I don't know why that's so funny to me.
He's really supportive. He's the kind of guy who brings a lot of balance to my obsessive and enthusiastic side, I guess. And so it's been a good fit for this because I tend to get a little amped up all the time over this sport. So he brings me back down.
The kits that you guys wear, you have to wear like authentic period style armor, right?
Yeah, so it's not like a Toys R Us special.
You brought a helmet in.
Yes.
And a sword and like that stuff's when you walked in with it, I was like, oh, let me help you with that. That's heavy. And then I was like, you freaking idiot, Chrissy. She wears this stuff and fights.
Let's talk. So, I mean, that's not is that the sword you would fight with? Then?
Yeah. So that's my falchion. It weighs more than
a falchion.
A falchion. Yeah.
Obviously. Yeah. I know what that is.
It weighs more than my two-handed longsword. It's just a fucking beast. Like,
it looks like a mini machete.
Yeah. It's kind of
a very heavy one.
Is it sharp?
No, we have to dull all of our weapons because otherwise it will pierce the armor. And we're not allowed to thrust either because that also pierces the armor. So we dull the edges. We try to make it as safe as possible for all of us, but injuries happen for sure. Worst
injury? What's your worst injury? Or injuries? How many have you gotten hurt a lot?
Only because my kit has malfunctioned in some way, and that I feel like is my own fault for not prepping it well. But in January, I was up in Seattle for a big training camp, and one of my teammates and best friends in the sport, she choked up her grip on an axe, a little two-handed axe, and she punched me right across the bridge of my nose with it and broke my nose.
Oh my gosh.
On my birthday.
On your birthday?
It's like, happy birthday, Hannah.
Fucking present ever. Like, we both... I didn't realize I was bleeding at the time because, I'm in my helmet and I can't really see.
Yeah.
But I just remember going, oh, fuck, when she hit me because it hurt more than anything I felt up until that point. And she immediately stopped because she could hear the tone of my voice was different. And so we walked off the training field and there was like blood trailing me. I took off my helmet and I was just covered. And her face she just drained color, and she's like, I broke your nose. And I was like, no, you didn't. And I like looked down.
Holy cow.
That was actually kind of fun. We were both pretty proud of ourselves. But that's I think concussions are the worst thing I've had so far. Those aren't fun, and we pad out our helmets as best we can and hope for the best.
And there's probably requirements, like you can only pad them so much, right?
Well, for padding, because we want people to be safe, there's really no limit. And a lot of us wear concussion foam in our helmets to reduce the risk.
And the people that don't are just crazy? Is that what it is?
Usually they won't let them on the field. You have to pass an authenticity committee and a safety committee usually. So
that is good.
Yeah, it is really good. And we have marshals on the field. They do a great job of making sure we're safe and our armor's not, falling off on the field. And they'll stop a fight if they see something fly off. And wow.
I just keep thinking of A Knight's Tale.
Yes.
with Heath Ledger. I remember how he like wore this other dude's armor and he's like, it doesn't fit right.
I've never seen that
When he
movie.
finally got armor
what
made
else
that
is
fit
new?
him, he like kicked ass.
Yes.
Oh, you've never seen
Well,
it?
what else is new?
You
though?
have
I
to
mean,
see
it
it.
seems like every
It's
movie
so
I
good.
haven't
Like I'm like,
seen,
you're
but-
living a Knight's Tale.
Yes,
I'm
that used
so
to be my
excited.
favorite movie, and it's still one of my favorites. And
How heavy is this armor, do you think?
my kit weighs about 60 pounds.
I mean, that's 60 pounds is heavy?
It's hefty, yeah. I'm hoping to switch to a titanium kit soon, so hopefully that will reduce the
Wow.
weight.
Does it get
drastically.
hot under there?
Oh yeah, like really fucking hot, really fast. I was just up in Seattle. It was kind of more of a LARP event. It's not LARP, it's rattan fighting. But there's a little more fantastical elements to it, like some make-believe scenarios, which is a lot of fucking fun. And so I was hiking through the woods in my kit, and rattan fighting, they don't usually wear steel kits. So I'm like sweating so badly in 60-degree weather, like there's no sunshine, and I'm still like just dying because I'm just
So I'm sure like a day like today in Salt Lake,
oh my
that's almost
gosh.
100 degrees.
Because it would burn you. I mean, does it ever get hot enough that the metal burns you?
Yeah.
Holy
I mean,
crap.
I usually don't wear my helmet out in the heat of the day, but like I'll put on my soft kit, like our padding.
It's like the mesh.
It's like a thick padding that goes underneath all of our armor. And I'll do workouts in that to try and get used to the heat. So I do try to acclimate myself to heat when I'm working out. But
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. Like if like on a daily basis, well, maybe not daily, but obviously you're not fighting daily, but
Right.
I would imagine there's workouts that you're doing to
Yeah.
try to build up certain muscles in
Yeah.
your body or
Yeah.
like you said to for the heat, so your body's
yeah.
acclimated to it. But actually, let's take a quick break. I need to play a message from our sponsor really quick, but we got more to chat with you, Hannah, so hang tight. This episode of the podcast is sponsored by Jed's Barbershop. With 3 locations now, you have no reason to not always look your best. Go get a haircut, a beard trim, or even a straight razor shave. Jed's Barbershop is open 7 days a week, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., Saturday 9 to 7, and Sunday 12 to 5. They have a location downtown at 212 South, 700 East, and in Sugar House at 2153 East, 2100 South. They just opened up a 3rd location at 167 East, 900 South, right next to Randy's Records. No appointment is necessary. Head on over to jedsbarbershop.com for more information. I do have a question, though. I want to ask you really quickly. On your Facebook page,
Yeah.
there's a recent picture of you fighting in like a ring of fire.
Yeah, a literal ring of
like
fire.
ring of fire.
Actual fire.
Yeah.
It looks like it's out of a movie.
Yeah.
I wanted to bring that. Is that typical? Is that a normal thing, or is that just
So-
something for fun?
That's, again, I went up to the EMP, the Empire of Medieval Pursuits. They do rattan fighting, which is a little different from steel fighting. But one of my good friends kind of runs the events up there. Well, several of them help run the event. And once a year they do battle, they call it Ragnarok. So it's all of the battles are based out of Norse mythology. And so we have different scenarios with different Norse gods. And
gosh.
we just are a bunch of nerds in a field playing with sticks, and it's awesome. And at the end, you get to, if you participate in the events of the day, you get to battle in the Ring of Fire for the quote unquote end of the world. And so
Do you care if I get one of those pictures, put it up on the Facebook page
please.
with this podcast?
Yeah, no, I'm very
so
proud
people
of
can
those pictures.
go check
so.
that out. No, that is. I was just.
I had to resist getting on your Facebook page and just liking everything. I'm like, no, Chrissy, no, that scares people.
No, we eat it up. I mean, it's rare for us to find people that are super interested. I think it's becoming more common when we talk about it because we're so enthusiastic about it. But I mean, we're still nerds putting on armor, but now it's actually like becoming a sport. So I think hopefully we'll get more fans.
Do you ever go over to Liberty Park over here and do it, or is that set aside for the LARPers?
I think that's more of like the SCA and the LARPers, but I do meet up with a bunch. Like I try to meet up with different people to learn different styles, just because it's good for me, and I can always learn something from the other groups.
Sure.
So I try to push myself outside my comfort zone, but a lot of times it just comes down to time, and I just don't have a lot of it right now. So, but yeah, there's so many fun groups that you can get involved in if steel fighting's not your thing. I mean, there's tons of groups in Salt Lake that do like foam fighting or LARPing and they're all just a blast. So,
have you ever considered learning other martial arts to kind of tie in and bring in? Are you allowed to do that?
Well, yeah, I actually just started taking Muay Thai to help with my kicking and punching and just footwork in general. So I just started incorporating some Muay Thai classes into my training every week, and so far so good, but it's only been a couple of weeks, so
See how it goes.
But yeah, a lot of the guys have done martial arts before, and it really helps because it's that same transfer of power. That's what we're going for, knockout punches basically. So
as opposed to just like...
Well, knockout punches and knowing where to punch to get, lever points basically. So that like lever points on your body where you can bend people over and manipulate their headspace and get them on the ground basically. So I feel like a lot of martial arts would transfer well, but I've heard Muay Thai is one of the better ones. So yeah.
Do you have a favorite weapon that you prefer to fight with?
I fucking love my falchion. That thing hits like a motherfucker. So like it's the weirdest looking thing, and we can even get a picture and post that too.
Sure.
But I've done work on it, which means me just shaving off bits of it, and I didn't do it very neatly. So we call it the Urukai because it looks like something that you would have just forged in the fires of Mount Doom and just call it good.
How much is like the setup, is it expensive? I mean,
Yes.
like say I wanted to get into this. I know Chrissy wouldn't let me, but if I wanted to, I don't really want to, but
I kind of do.
I think Chrissy wants to. I think we should get Chrissy in armor eventually.
We need to get this baby out
Once
of
this baby gets out of me,
Yeah.
let's talk.
We'll talk.
No, I think it'd be cool. I would definitely support you.
Yeah?
I would.
I think I'm too much of a wuss is the problem.
See, I thought so too. I have always been kind of timid, bookworm,
Yeah.
nerd. And I love the violence though. I love getting hit. I love getting beat up. I love walking off the field feeling like I've just been hit by a train.
Torture. It's like being tortured. That's
so
right.
fascinating.
You like that too.
I might like it.
It seems like a great way to exercise, right?
Oh, yeah.
Burn a few calories.
Yeah, you have to be in
mean,
decent shape if you want to progress. So,
Well, and I know I'm veering away from
No,
your
no,
question.
no,
We'll
you're
get back to
fine.
it.
It's a
But like I was
podcast.
even saying, like, doesn't it help you just in general feel less fearful in so many
for
situations?
Sure. Yeah, like I was kind of thinking back on the past year, and things that I would have been fearful of doing a year ago are just nothing. And that's the thing that I love most about this sport is like being on the plane to Barcelona. I decided to go by myself and have my husband meet me a few days later because I had to do it on my own, and I knew I had to go on my own. And walking onto that field the first day was probably the most terrifying thing I've done to date, because you're up against so many unknowns for our team because we don't fight the international women as often. So we had no idea what we were walking into. It was our first year as a USA team, first time we really played together in any professional way or higher level way, I guess. And it was scary, but like on the other side of that, I knew once I was on the other side of that, I could do anything. So
How are women in other countries with this? I mean, are they a little more brutal? Is that a fair question?
Oh,
I mean,
that's
I'm
for
not,
sure.
I mean, I'm just
I was
curious
thinking
if
the same thing.
if it's the same rules, right?
it is the same rules. And
who writes the rules?
Russia.
Russia.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Russia actually,
yeah.
their men's 21 versus 21, because you can go all the way up to 21 people on a team at a time, which those are fun to watch. Ukraine just beat Russia for the first time in 8 years and won gold. So Russia is everyone's team to beat, and Ukraine is right underneath them. And so, or right on par now, I guess. So our first few fights, we were fighting Canada, great team, tough, big girls. And then Argentina, another fun team that's up and coming. And then Ukraine was our last fight of the day. And they just fucking wiped the floor with us.
Really?
Like, they are great fighters. And so you can tell the women who train with the top men's teams, I mean, they're just brutal. And they're fantastic to fight. Like, just dynamic, and you learn something new every time, even when you're just flat on your ass in the first, 5 minutes. So, yeah.
Is there like paramedics nearby, ambulances, stuff like that?
Yeah, I know. I'm worrying about
I've never done this before. I've seen one. I mean, I want to go watch one now. But
one of our teammates broke one of the Argentina girls' ribs during the fight. She found a gap in her armor underneath her armpit, and her axe just went right into the gap. And so the paramedics carted her off, and she had to go to the hospital, and it was a great time.
Man.
But
again, this is a hospital in another country, even.
Exactly,
so it's not like health insurance is going to cover what they cover.
we
that.
had to get.
They got free stuff going on in other countries. We're
we
fine.
had to buy a lot of insurance.
They just don't want to fight. They don't want to come over here and fight here, because then that'd be trouble.
Yeah.
So back to the cost of this stuff. Back to the cost.
My kit
roughly $1,000,
$1,500 to $2,000,
and that's to just kind of get going, right?
Just to get a base kit.
Mm-hmm. I think
that might have to be a few birthdays for you, Chrissy.
You could probably do a kit, entry level kit for like $900, but once you get into it, you obviously are like, oh yeah, I definitely want more protection here, or I definitely want a better helmet here, and
you kind of customize what fits you and what feels good.
Yeah.
And the kits are all new. I know I'm asking silly questions.
No,
but
you're not. You're not. They're not new.
Okay, because that's what I was wondering. They have to be kind of authentic, right?
Right. So a lot of times, most of my armor, apart from my gauntlets that I have sitting there, it's all hand-me-downs that I've purchased from other fighters.
Oh, wow.
So I chose the helmet first. It's a Ruth Mongol helmet from the 1350, 1400s. And then I built the rest of my kit off of that. So I have little plates in a coat that kind of go over. It's definitely Mongol Ruth style. But my helmet was my most expensive piece. I think that was $900.
Oh, wow.
And then it took me about a year to save up for the rest of it. And my parents helped a lot with building my kit because I just didn't have the money.
Is there a website you could go to find all of this stuff?
eBay for
how do you? I mean, I guess just getting connected to other fighters, right? The community
is huge, because you can go on to there's basically a Facebook page for every type of every century kit, and you can go on and ask questions. Where do I find this? Who do I buy this from?
So you can really geek out. You can be I want this period. I want this style.
And if you can back it up and it's within 50-ish years on either side, you can wear it. So
you have to have a complete kit from a period.
Mm-hmm.
And so it has to be they would have worn this.
Yep.
You can't piece different piece time periods together.
No.
Wow, that's a lot of research.
It's a lot of research. Fortunately, I lucked out because Amy, my mentor in the sport, she has the same sort of kit I do, and so I was able to kind of base a lot of it off of hers. And the guys are great in the community. They'll answer any question you have and send you documentation so that you don't have to hunt for it on your own. So once you're in this community, you're in. And you
just got to get hazed really good first, right?
You just have to take a couple really good hits.
Does anybody from the community go on to work for medieval times?
That's a really good question.
I mean, why not, right?
I don't know.
Have you been to medieval times
in
California?
Is that where you eat food and watch people fight?
Yes, it's like knights in armor, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to ask around.
You sit there, you got a big chicken. I did when I was a kid. Family
big
went there.
Leg.
Yeah. You just have a big turkey in front of you, and you're watching jousting or something. Do you do joust? Do you ride on a horse or anything? That's different.
That's a whole can of worms that I have no desire to get into. I mean, I think it'd be fun, but at this point, I'm so focused on learning this one skill that anything else kind of just falls by the wayside. But we do have some people who've started doing our sport from jousting. So we'll see how that goes.
Well, that's cool.
But yeah, We kind of cross paths a little bit, but not as
Okay.
much.
Let's get into being a librarian really quick
Okay.
here, right?
Let's do
Before we
that.
completely run
Honestly,
out.
that's just as exciting to me.
Well, no, I mean, we'll get back to, because I want to get into this for a minute. So you're a librarian in where at here?
Murray Library.
Murray Library.
Yeah,
so
so-
people listening might stop in.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
And say, I
ask
heard
for your
you.
autograph. Like
And-
you should just keep pictures of you in your
How,
armor that you can
how long
sign.
have you been doing that?
September will be 2 years. I kind of stumbled on the job. I actually am not technically, I'm an assistant librarian, so I don't have my MLS degree. My master's is in children and adolescent literature. So I went to school to study children's literature, and I needed a job to pay for this hobby. And my friend worked at Murray and said, you should apply. And I've stayed because I love it. And it's quirky and weird. And it's wonderful.
I didn't know you had to have such intense credentials to
Yeah.
work as a librarian or assistant librarian.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so usually in order to be considered a librarian, I think you do have to have your MLS. I don't know that I want to go back to school quite yet, so I probably will not be a full-time librarian, but I'm happy with what I do. So
And what does the library think of all of this?
oh, they're really supportive. I mean, they let me travel to Spain, and they didn't really bat an eye at the time off I had to take for it. They were really generous with that. And
And that's tough with a job to find a job
that is really amazing.
That's cool and fun. I mean, I imagine you read a lot of books.
I read a lot of books. I also do some personal assisting for a young adult author. So, I mean, and I write book reviews for Young Adult Book Central. So basically, I'm not joking when my life boils down to books and fighting, because that's all I have time for. So I read during the day, I write, and then I train.
Now go back to you write for what now? You write?
Young Adult Book Central, it's a book review site for children and YA books. So I'm one of their staff reviewers, and
that sounds like a really good resource for parents to find books for their kids to read.
Phenomenal. Like I usually just write that down for everyone coming into the library who they're like, I don't know what my kid wants to read next. So they'll have suggestions on the website. If they like this, then they'll probably like this. So
and what's
really cool.
what's the web address for that?
YABooksCentral.com.
Okay. So people can check it out. I'll try to remember that to put it with the show notes.
Do you have a favorite? That's hard, but like a favorite book series? Or one that stands out?
Yeah, Alana by Tamara Pierce was really pivotal for me. It's about the first female knight, and she has to disguise herself as a boy. And I mean, so in terms of fighting, that one's really great. And then just in terms of series, I just finished the Half Bad series by Sally Green, and that one was really great as well. It stood out.
Have you read those?
No, I need to look into them. I'm curious. I'm very. I need recommendations. I don't want us to
For
run
you or for
me.
Oh, okay.
The kids can read them if they want, but this
it
is
was for you or the kids here. I mean,
always for me. It's bad. But you also do. You're part of a gym.
Yeah.
Out here.
So I train primarily out of the Division Gym in Murray. And it's not really a CrossFit gym, but it's heavy weightlifting, a lot of sprints. So it's perfect for what I do because I have to have the engine to last for long rounds, and I have to have the strength to beat up girls twice my size. So they do a really good job of keeping me in shape and moving forward.
Yeah. Is that I can't remember but I heard you talk about it before. You're kind of part of a group in Salt Lake where kind of nerds can go to work out.
Oh, no. No, it's just the Division now. So
okay.
Unfortunately that one didn't pan out as well as I'd hoped, but we had a nice little community going for a while, but unfortunately it
bummer.
didn't.
I was hoping that
I know, me
people
too.
should know about this.
I know, me
but-
too.
All right. If it's dissolved, then we won't talk about it.
That's all right.
So if you're okay, so I just want to find out a little bit more about you, right?
Okay.
Like, so you're a librarian, you do this medieval fighting. Do you have any other hobbies and interests, things that you do, or is that pretty much consumed you? Kind of what you were saying with the book reviews and the librarian stuff, and anything else, or no?
I mean, my dog takes up a lot of my time.
What kind of dog do you have?
I have a miniature Australian Shepherd.
Oh.
He's a shithead.
Oh.
So he's adorable though. But yeah, I mean, I'm pretty active just in general. So I do hike a lot and I do bike. I'll pretty much try anything once in terms of like physical activity. So hobby wise, like not at the moment. I'm just so
Well, it sounds
focused.
like this probably pretty much consumes you.
it
Sounds like a
does.
very time consuming hobby.
Yeah, and especially when there are so many like new girls up and coming, like you have to stay on top of your game if you want to compete on an international level. So it really does take up all my time.
You mentioned that you would try anything once, like physical activity wise.
Yeah.
By doing this, has that kind of made it so you want to try more
Yeah.
physical activity? Because it's
Definitely.
You were saying you weren't really like the jock type your whole life,
No.
really. So
And I went from like CrossFit kind of powerlifting stuff to the Scottish Highland Games for a few years. So I competed in that. And then I went into this, which just seems like my niche. But like I said, I started martial arts a couple weeks ago, and I don't know, I want to try a triathlon pretty soon. But I mean, again, maybe in the off season when I don't know when that is for us, but we haven't figured that out yet.
There's no off season.
There's no off season.
You just keep doing it.
There's no off season for being this badass.
That's probably true.
what would you name the autobiography of your life?
That's a great question. Probably I burn, but I'm not consumed.
I like that.
I like that too.
Do you have a memorable concert or a sporting event that you've been to?
Memorable concert, probably the Lord of the Rings Symphony. When they came through at Bravenel Hall, I think it was like 5 or 6 years ago.
Sounds kind of cool.
Yeah.
They basically played through the scores and showed pictures and clips of the movie, and it was
That sounds right up your alley, Chrissy.
Yeah, that does. That sounds amazing.
I've never seen Lord of the Rings or read Lord of the Rings. Not my thing.
not your
not
thing.
My thing. But hey, you know what?
But it's okay. It's my. It can be my thing too.
Exactly.
To each their own. If you could go back to your first day of high school and give yourself advice, what would you tell yourself?
Oh man, I've thought about this a lot actually. Like I would say keep going. Like it gets better and you find your tribe. Like you won't always be this lonely and life won't always suck. Like it gets really, really fucking good. Just keep going. 30 is the best. Like that has been the whole theme of this year is 30 is the fucking best because you find your people, you grow into yourself, you grow up, you grow older and you find a way to make life better and you find yourself.
I like that.
That's like the best advice in general overall to give to any kid. Love it.
If you could shop for free at one store, which one would you choose?
Oh my God. So probably one of the armors who does a really great job out of Ukraine. I would just titanium kit, hands down.
Like his online store?
Yeah, his online store. I'd just order everything, one of every kit. Like
I could imagine like your Christmas list is just like when you give it to
yeah.
your husband, it's like it's
yeah.
not just easy stuff.
Is
that you-
anything affordable? That's the question.
yeah, no. Like my Christmas present from my parents 2 years ago was part of my kit. That's all I asked for. I was like, I just want armor. So they were like, okay, well, you're weird, but we support you and we love you. So here you go. Have some armor for Christmas. So
That's awesome.
I opened my suit of armor on Christmas.
That's so cool.
Do you ever just wear it for fun, like even on Halloween or something like that,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, I wear it. I mean, any excuse to get into kit, I will pretty much be on board with. So Halloween, I do demonstrations sometimes at our library for the teens.
I was just gonna say, do you
Yeah.
ever like dress up and even read to little kids?
Oh, that would be so awesome. I should totally
Like
suggest
Hannah
that.
the Night reads a story, and these
Would that
little
be
kids are just like-
comfortable to just sit
Oh, yeah.
down and
Oh yeah, like I mean, I was in kit this last weekend for like 7 hours straight, probably, and it was fine. Like you get sore after a while, but I mean, I'm training to be in kit all day. That is my goal, to not be exhausted by the end of the day.
can you drive a car in one of these things?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah. There's
Probably
so
not with
much
the helmet, though, huh?
flexibility. Probably not with
Really?
the helmet.
Because it's really low visibility in the helmet,
Yeah,
right?
super low visibility for the helmet. And it probably just wouldn't be safe. But the rest of the kit is totally fine.
And then traveling, I mean, it's Well, I guess it goes back to, you said about 60 pounds,
Yeah,
right? So, I mean, that adds
2
weight,
suitcases.
right? To
Yeah.
pay extra for traveling.
Minimum 2 suitcases.
You need to set up like a Patreon
I
or a
should.
GoFundMe or something like this to keep it.
Fund my armor travel.
Well, no,
Just
I mean,
have
you
someone
could,
video. I always want to say videotape or film. That's not even a thing anymore. Take a footage of you fighting and put it on your Patreon page.
That would be awesome.
That would be awesome. Oh,
I thought you were going to say
nope.
something there.
I'm just like I have.
You're so.
I'm gonna like explode with it, just happiness right now. That's all.
That's how I feel every day.
Here's a question I thought you would appreciate.
Okay.
If you could have one superpower, what would it be, and how would you use it?
Oh, teleportation for sure. I could go anywhere in a heartbeat, meet up with my friends across country, just teleport to them and not have travel be an issue.
Okay, so if you could teleport or fly.
Probably teleport because I hate the time it takes for me to fly everywhere to see my friends. And I get so excited to see them because they're some of my best friends.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times I don't get to see them more than once or twice a year. So I hate that travel time because I'm just so amped. So yeah, teleport for sure.
If somebody was visiting Salt Lake City for a day, is there something you would tell them to go and check out or to do or an activity or some kind of recommendation?
Yeah. So when I have friends come in, we usually take them hiking up at Albion Basin if it's nice out, up by Alta. And then Ruth's Diner. We always go to Ruth's Diner with out-of-towners. So
Any other eating spots you recommend? Favorite local eating spots?
So the Rio Grande Cafe, my parents have been going there since before I was born every Friday night.
Did they shut it down? Do you know?
So the owners of the Porcupine Grill just bought it
Okay.
and remodeled it and kind of revamped it. So it's now open again, which is awesome because we were really worried there.
Yeah, with all the homeless people down there, you know?
Because it's our family Friday night spot, and my parents have their names on the bar stools and
For real?
Yeah,
That's awesome. I'm going to go look for their name.
Yeah.
There they are.
So
We should go sit on those bar stools.
Is there anything you would change about Salt Lake City?
I think I'd make it a little bit more inclusive, maybe. But it's a really cool place to live. Like,
Did you grow up here? I didn't even ask you that
Yeah,
at the beginning.
I've been here most of my life, so
So you're pretty familiar
yeah.
with Salt Lake.
And you like it enough to stay.
I like it enough to stay for now, for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
How would like let's say listeners want to get involved with what you're doing?
Yeah.
How would they get involved? I mean, I even have listeners outside of Salt Lake, so I guess it would be two different recommendations.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So I would say if you get in touch with me, I can get you pointed in the right direction. If I don't have the answer, someone will, and they would be more than happy to talk to you about this. If you go to the American Medieval Combat Federation on Facebook, the AMCF, that's a very great place, like a great place to get information about our sport and get connected with people who are active members of our sport. So resources will be on there. I'm a board member for it. So again, if you're in contact with me, I can get you to the right person.
How would people get in touch with you? What's going to be the easiest way for that?
So you can message me on Facebook, Hannah Cherie Hudson, but I'm most active on Instagram. My handle is @thelibrarianbarbarian. And
Oh my gosh.
I love that.
Oh my God. I'm not even going to sleep tonight. I'm so happy.
fair warning, it's mostly pictures of either me working out, Armor, or my dog. So there you have it. Fair warning, it's mostly my dog.
But if they're not friends with you on Facebook, you might miss their message, right? Like, so maybe
Instagram's probably the best place to get a hold of me.
Okay.
And then I blog a little bit, same handle, The Librarian Barbarian, but that's sporadic. So I would say Instagram is probably the best avenue for that. So
anything else you want to talk about while we have her here? I mean, there's probably a million things Chrissy's over there.
I feel like I'm a little girl who met her princess. Like, I'm going to cry right now. It's really sad.
No, that's
you
how
really
I
are.
felt.
You're not
I
kidding
really
over there.
I'm like so excited that people like you exist.
Thanks.
It's silly.
No, well, it goes back to, when we first got introduced to each other, I was like, okay, you're perfect for a podcast about cool things here in Salt Lake, cool people doing cool things. A lot of times people don't know that this is going on.
Right. And I mean,
it's a perfect example on how cool a city this is.
Yeah. And if you want to get involved in your local, please don't hesitate to contact me, because there are a couple of other people in Salt Lake. We try to meet up for practices. And it'd be just awesome to have more people to play with and just fool around with, even if you're not wanting to compete at an international level. If you just want to do this as a hobby, it's a great community. So I highly encourage people to get involved in this. And you don't have to have armor right away. That's the nice thing too. We will put you in whatever loaner gear we have, get you in soft kit, get you started, and we'll take care of you. Like, that's our thing. So
don't be scared.
Don't be scared. No, if I can do this, I mean, I'm 5'3". Like, I'm itty bitty compared to most of the people doing this, and like the last person on earth who would have been a candidate for the sport. So it's life changing though. Like, I don't know, it's life changing.
One more question, then we'll let you go. If you were on death row, what would your final meal be?
Probably French fries. Just a lot of French fries and donuts. Fried food in general.
Just a big plate.
Yep, just a big plate.
Do you have a favorite place for French fries?
Come on, probably Freaky D's. D's on 7th and 21st.
Okay. It's been a while since
curly fries.
It's been a minute since I've had their.
I don't know if I've ever had their curly fries.
I was expecting maybe Wendy's fries or something like that.
No, it's like the best spot to go at 2 a.m. when you're drunk and want fries. So that's where you go.
That's also a good eating spot recommendation.
Yeah, there you go.
Awesome.
Weekend hangover.
Thank you so much, Hannah. We'll end it there,
thank you.
We'll have to catch up down the road.
Definitely. Thanks.
All right. Many thanks again to Hannah Hudson for coming on this episode and sharing her story. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. I know I had a great conversation.
And afterwards, she let me hit her in the head with her helmet on and with her sword.
I posted some of those videos on Snapchat.
Yeah.
People probably had no idea what they were. They're like,
I didn't know you were taking a video.
What is this? So
Chrissy's just beating people up.
If you're connected with me on Snapchat, that's what those videos were. And if you're not connected, feel free to follow me at I Am Salt Lake. I'll be posting more and more snaps of the interviews that we do. And
you post some pretty funny snaps that I don't think the other outlets get to see.
Oh, absolutely. Well, it gives me an opportunity to kind of post a little bit more on my personal side as well.
Yeah.
But all the links for this episode are going to be at iamsaltlake.com/283. Find out more about Hannah. Find out more about the medieval armored combat competing that she's part of.
And ladies, let's do this. Let's
and like Chrissy said, as soon as this baby's born, it sounds like she's going to be doing it.
I want to at least try. I think I'm a wuss, but I want to at least try because she gave me the grr for life again.
For some reason, I can't picture you doing it.
Because I'm a huge wimp and I complain about everything. But it would be fun.
This episode of the podcast is sponsored by Jed's Barbershop. With 3 locations now, you have no reason to not always look your best. Go get a haircut, a beard trim, or even a straight razor shave. Jed's Barbershop is open 7 days a week, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., Saturday 9 to 7, and Sunday 12 to 5. Their brand new 3rd location that has opened up at 167 East, 900 South, right next to Randy's Records. They also have a location downtown at 212 South, 700 East, and in Sugar House at 2153 East, 2100 South. No appointment is necessary. Just show up, get a haircut, look good. And if you're driving right now and you didn't write down any of those addresses, head on over to their website, jedsbarbershop.com. All the addresses are right there on their website. That's going to do it for this episode. Be sure to join our private I Am Salt Lake Facebook group. Come hang out with the rest of the listeners where we get to talk about the episodes of the podcast, talk about who we're going to be interviewing on the podcast, and just talk about how rad Salt Lake City is to live in. Hey, to find the group, just head on over to iamsaltlake.com/group. It's going to send you over to the Facebook page, the private group we have set up over there.
Just hit the join the group button. You're in.
Hey, you all have a great week. Get out and enjoy the city. Support local.
And good night, Grammy.